What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. I want y'all to watch this black politician grill this white Donald Trump official on why just so happens that Donald Trump's government eliminated 2 black holidays from Washington, D.C.'s National Park Free Day. Why is it that Donald Trump and his white supremacist neo-Nazi administration found it that they just absolutely had to, for some reason, through sheer coincidence, had to eliminate Juneteenth and Dr. Martin Luther King Day from the free entry pass in the Park Service program? Out of all the holidays, why those 2 holidays? Right? As of right now, it's abundantly clear that this is a white supremacist, neo-Nazi, 100% racist administration with a bunch of complicit white politicians and political figures who either are actively racist, who are passively racist, or who are indifferent and don't see the racist act as something they should fight against because they're doing things to their own best interest and not the best interest of the people. You're going to see what happens when a black politician holds a white political figure accountable. And this is why they don't want black people involved in politics. You see, black men are not just powerful on the battlefield, but we're also powerful in the courtrooms and powerful in the halls of Congress, in the House, powerful in the White House, powerful in the justice system. Our power don't stop at physicality. Our mental sharpness and acuity is sharp. We are natural born leaders. We pay attention to detail. And we're not talking about the non-practicing black politicians like Clarence Thomas. We're not talking about the non-practice, because yeah, I'm about to use that shit. White folks got the goddamn non-practicing white. Well, we got a whole bunch of non-practicing black people who look black on the outside, but they don't practice being black. Those are our corrupt politicians, our Cunarian Republican political figures and operatives, and our social media commentators who are conservative and who are MAGA and fight for white supremacy and fight on behalf of white supremacy against their own people and against the greater American people who are also against that. You're going to see a real practicing black person who is a politician holding this white man accountable. And look at their eyes. When they have to face a black man face to face, when that black man has authority, when that black man can look at him in his eye and question him. You see, there was a time when we couldn't look at that white man in the eye because they couldn't handle our stare. They couldn't handle looking in the souls of a black person. They couldn't. Something about them crumbled when it happened. That's why it was a law in the United States of America. In the United States of America, a law that we couldn't look them in their eyes. A white woman don't want to look a black woman in the eye because they can't handle that heat. That feminine power bursts out of them like a goddamn super saiyan. They can't handle it. Same thing with our goddamn black men. When we on point, when we in our frame, they can't handle that shit. It's too much power. They don't have the mature, these white supremacists in suits, they may look professional, but they don't have the professional attitude. They're not professional. They're boys. They're males. They're not even men. They're pieces of shit in suits that present themselves as upstanding members of society, that present themselves as important contributors to society. And in fact, they're pieces of shit in suits trying to uphold white supremacy without utilizing any rationale. That's why shit don't get done in Republican states. That's why Republicans are ineffective. They have no policies that benefit the American people at all. Zero. Zilch. You can't name a Republican conservative policy that is popular amongst the American people. That's why they go towards things like racism and LGBT. That's all they talk about. LGBT. Racism. LGBT. Why? Because that's the only thing they focus on, because most of them gay anyway. They just in the closet. And that's a part of their subconscious projections right there. But notice, they have no policies. Now, I ain't saying the Democrats are the best. They have policies, they just ain't got no fight. At least a lot of the white conservative ones, but we got some black ones that got fight. You see, we got fight in us naturally, so that's why they don't want us over there. That's why they don't want progressive black male Democrats or progressive black female Democrats who are progressive and actually practice being black, practice being an American, a true American, based off what it's supposed to be definition-wise, not what it is in real life. Anyway, without further ado, Let's look at this black man. I got a couple more videos coming out because I want to make this an example. This is why they don't want us involved in politics, because when we are involved in politics, we're strong, we're powerful, and we're something new. There's something that they just can't handle. Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Well, as time's expired, the chair now recognizes the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Goose, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here today. I want to start first with a letter that myself and Senator Michael Bennett of Colorado wrote to your agency on April 29th. This was a letter of April 29th of this year in regards to the historically low snowpack that we're experiencing, as you know, in the Rocky Mountain West, including in Colorado. Obviously, very concerned about the wildfire season that is upon us. The letter makes a number of requests around pre-positioning assets, extending federal contracts for aerial resources. I would just ask for your commitment to respond to that letter, if you might be willing to make that commitment.
Yeah, absolutely, and appreciate your attention to this. We are facing a potentially dangerous situation with the low water levels in the Colorado River Basin relative to wildfire, and that's why, again, we appreciate all the support we can get from you in unifying the new U.S. Wildland Firefighting Group. That's going to allow us to have essentially a joint chiefs of staff that can make the command and control decisions that you're asking us to look at.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And we look forward to your response on that front. I want to follow up on a point that the ranking member referenced. This is in regards to a decision that your agency made last year in December. As you know, removing the 2 federal holidays that honor Black history from the free entrance day list for the National Park Service. You're familiar with that decision?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I believe those 2 days, by the way, are Martin Luther King Day, as you know, and Juneteenth. It's my view that Juneteenth provides all citizens with an opportunity to really recommit ourselves, renew our commitment to equality. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess part of my confusion about why, given your agreement on that front, given the fact that as governor, you proclaimed Juneteenth back in North Dakota several years ago, why you would now allow the agency, or I presume you were involved in that decision, to remove those 2 holidays from the list. It just strikes me that that is not consistent with the view that you just articulated. And I would urge the National Park Service to reverse that decision. I think it is short-sighted, and I don't think it's in the best interest of the country. I recognize my colleagues disagree with me on the other side of the aisle, perhaps some of them, but that's my view. I want to ask you about one last topic.
Can I just say, I want to make sure on that
Sure.
topic that we understand that no one is changing these holidays, the holiday designation, whatever. There was an ability to choose free days, and part of that was, where do we space the free days? Where do we put them? Do they match up against weekends?
Yeah, but Mr. Secretary,
and again, trying to get more of those days into the summer months when we have higher visitation.
I hear you. At the same time, I think you could understand how many Americans would perceive a decision by your department to remove Martin Luther King Day as a free entrance day, the National Park Service. I just, at the end of the day, again, we'll have to agree to disagree on that front, but I will move on. Are you familiar with Atlantic Industrial Coatings?
I'm not familiar with that.
So Atlantic Industrial Coatings is a company. Are you familiar with that company?
You're saying Atlantic?
Atlantic Industrial Coatings, correct? Are you familiar with it, or?
I'm not familiar with Atlantic.
Okay, Atlantic Industrial Coatings is the company that received a no-bid federal contract for the project at the Lincoln Memorial Reflective Pool. Are you familiar with that now?
I'm familiar with that project, yes.
But not the company?
I wasn't familiar with that specific name of the company.
Okay. You're familiar with the fact that a company received a no-bid contract to do the work on that project, correct?
I'm familiar that we're working on a project to restore the reflecting pool before the summer season with record attendance, yes.
Yes, and that was through a no-bid $13 million contract, right? That's not up for debate. That's a fact.
I'm positive that we followed all of the required bidding rules. So you're emphasizing the word no bid like something nefarious has happened.
Okay, then
I reject
explain
that
it to me.
thesis.
Here, I'll ask you the question. My understanding of the federal procurement rules is that a no-bid contract is reserved for situations where, quote, any delay would cause serious injury to the government. What is your proposition is what? That there'd be serious injury to the government if this company didn't get the $13 million contract to do this particular project right now? Is that
Well, I think we do have a sense of urgency. I mean, we got handed a record amount of deferred maintenance. We had 19 fountains across the city that didn't work,
that's the
82 homeless
serious
sites.
injury to
1,000
the government? The serious injury to the government?
Well, I suppose a lawyer could decide that, but I think that maybe all of us could agree that we would want to have our nation's capital looking great for the 250th. I mean, this is a common sense decision.
I would say, just last question, who picked this company? Because President Trump, a few months ago, in a New York Times article said, I have a guy who's unbelievable at doing swimming pools. He looked at it, he called me up, he said, sir, we can do something on it. Last night, he posted on Truth Social, also, I did not give out the contract, Interior did, to a contractor I did not know and have never used before. So Interior, he's talking about you. Did you give this $13 million no-bid contract to this company that's never done business with the federal government before?
The gentleman's time has expired.
I think the Secretary can answer the question.
The gentleman that you're talking about that has done construction work regarding pools and fountains for President Trump is not part of this contract. He's just a citizen that cared about it and offered some free advice. There's nothing there in terms of any dollars flowing to anybody that worked for President Trump.
Who picked this company? That's what I'm getting at.
The National Park Service and the leaders on the National Mall are the ones that picked it. They went through the process, picked the person that was best, and part of their selection process was picking somebody who had the capability to complete the project in a time frame and in a budget that would actually fix the problem. I mean, there are past presidents that have worked on this thing. It's been shut for 2 years. Read the article. There was $38 million spent on this between 2010 and 2012, and it was never fixed. I mean, this is
we're going to move on, and some of these questions, if you want to refer or answer them in writing when there's more time.
Fuck them again. Fuck them. Them and you is not friend. Fuck them. Them no need to be in your life. So why you making them cause you nothing but trouble and strife? Fuck them.
The texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.